Here, fruits are of different types. First one is Parthenocarpic fruit. So, what is Parthenocarpic fruit? Generally, the ovary develops into fruit after fertilization. After pollination and fertilization, the ovary develops into fruit. But here, without fertilization, the ovary develops into fruit. Here also, ovary develops into fruit. So, it is ovary. It is developing into fruit, but no fertilization. So, without fertilization, the ovary develops into fruit. It is called as Parthenocarpic fruit. The Parthenocarpic fruits generally not having seeds. They are seedless. Seeds are absent. So, Parthenocarpic fruits are seedless. Why? Because the ovules are not fertilized. That's why they are seedless. So, for seedless fruits are Parthenocarpic fruits. Here one example is banana. Here banana, it is not having seeds, or here fertilized seeds are absent. Banana is not having seeds, the seedless fruit. It is a natural Parthenocarpic fruit. Banana, and here grapes also. Some seedless grapes. Here seedless grapes are also examples for these Parthenocarpic fruits. Ovary develops into fruit without fertilization. The fruit is not having seeds, so they are seedless fruits. Examples: banana and grapes. Banana is one natural Parthenocarpic fruit. Sometimes we can also induce the Parthenocarpic fruits. So here some hormones like auxins, gibberellins, these are helping, or these induce the ovaries to develop into fruits. So without fertilization, the ovary develops into fruits. For this also, here some hormones are useful. Some hormones are inducing the ovaries to develop into fruits without fertilization. So Parthenocarpic fruit, examples: banana and grapes. And here the fruits are mainly of two types. One is true fruit and the second one is false fruit. True fruit, false fruit. So true fruits, here what is true fruit, what is false fruit? Here true fruits develop from ovary. So these develop from ovary. After fertilization, the ovary develops into fruit. Example: tomato and brinjal. So all these are developing from ovaries. After fertilization, the ovary develops into fruit. So most of the fruits are here true fruits only. And false fruits. So what is false fruit? The false fruit is also called as pseudocarp. The pseudocarp is here it is developing. It develops from other parts of flower. Other parts of a flower. So sometimes from thalamus, sometimes from the pedicel. So other parts of flower. Other parts like thalamus or pedicel. So these parts also sometimes develop into fruits. Here most of the fruits are true fruits, and some fruits are false fruits. False fruits are also called as pseudocarp. These develop from other parts of a flower other than ovary, not ovary. So other than ovary, here other parts like thalamus, pedicel develops into fruit. So if we see the false fruits, here false fruits are mainly here observed in the apple, and cashew nut also. In apple, thalamus develops into fruit. Here it is ovary, but the ovary is not developing into fleshy part. Here the other part, this other part, it is nothing but thalamus. The thalamus, it is developing into false fruit. It is fleshy and it is storing food material. So this is thalamus, and thalamus is developing into false fruit, and it is not having seeds. Here seeds are present, but it is called as true fruit. So here the fleshy part is, it is false fruit. The false fruit is developing from thalamus in apple. And in cashew nut, the the fruit develops, false fruit develops from pedicel. Here pedicel develops into fall. Here what is pedicel? Stalk of the flower. Here for example, it is a stalk, it is flower, and the stalk is developing into fleshy part. It is fleshy part. And ovary also develops into fruit, but it is true fruit. So it is true fruit. It is a false fruit. Okay, in apple, the thalamus develops into fleshy part. It is false fruit. And in cashew nut, pedicel develops into, it is pedicel. Pedicel is nothing but stalk of the flower. The stalk of the flower, it is developing into fleshy part. The fleshy part is called as false fruit. So in false fruits, here true fruits are also present. Here it is false fruit, but here the false fruit is inside the false fruit. Here true fruit is also present. Ovary develops into true fruit, but other parts also develop into fruits. The other parts are here thalamus, that develops into false fruit, and in cashew nut, a pedicel develops into false fruit. Here it is true fruit. It is true fruit, it is false fruit. Here it is true fruit, it is true fruit. It is false fruit. So the edible parts in apple, thalamus. In cashew nut, the edible part is pedicel. And inside a true fruit also some edible parts are present. They are cotyledons. So here fruits are mainly of two types: true fruits, false fruits. True fruits develop from ovary. After fertilization, the ovary develops into fruit. That is true fruit. Here false fruits develop from other parts of the flower, like thalamus, pedicel, or other parts also. So in apple, thalamus develops into fruit, false fruit. Cashew plant or cashew nut, a pedicel develops into false fruit. So it is about false fruits. Next, we are going to discuss about true fruits in detail. True fruits are mainly of three types: simple fruits, aggregate fruits, and composite fruits. Composite fruits are also called as multiple fruits. So what is the difference between all these simple, aggregate, and composite fruits? Here simple fruits. The simple fruits develop from only single flower. The simple fruit develops from a ovary of a single flower. So it is develops from ovary of syncarpous ovary. Syncarpous ovary of a single flower. Simple fruit develops from syncarpous ovary. Already we discussed about syncarpous. What is syncarpous? When carpels are fused, that is syncarpous. So develops from syncarpous ovary of a single flower. And aggregate fruits. Aggregate fruits develop from here same single flower, but from apocarpous ovary. Apocarpous ovary of a single flower. Aggregate fruits develop from apocarpous ovary of a single flower. Here single flower, only one ovary or one flower. One flower is enough to form one fruit. Here also one flower is enough to form one fruit. But here, what is the difference is syncarpous ovary and apocarpous ovary. Here, in the syncarpous ovary, only single fruit is formed. In the aggregate fruits, the apocarpous ovary. Apocarpous ovary means on the thalamus, number of carpels are present. So, each and every carpel develops into small fruitlet. So, all these are aggregated. Here, simple fruits, here develop from syncarpous ovary of a single flower. All the carpels are fused and forming a single fruit. But in aggregate fruits, here each and every carpel develops into small fruitlets. So, all these fruitlets are present together only, but not fused. So, they are aggregated. Like in custard apple. You know custard apple, the custard apple, here the single one-seeded fruits are present, small fruitlets. They are here developing from one ovary. So, this type of number of small fruitlets are aggregated in the aggregate fruits. A composite fruits. A composite fruit develops from the total inflorescence. Ovaries of total inflorescence. So, it is a main difference simple fruits, aggregate fruits and composite fruits. Simple fruits are developing from syncarpous ovary of a single flower, and aggregate fruits developing from apocarpous ovary of a single flower, and composite fruits are multiple fruits developing from the ovaries of total inflorescence. In the inflorescence, number of flowers are present. Each and every flower is having one ovary. So, all the ovaries are here after fertilization, they are developing into here only single fruit. So, these are the three types of here fruits. Again, we are going to discuss about here simple fruits. What is simple fruit? What is aggregate fruit? What is composite fruit? And what are the types and examples? We will discuss. First of all, here fleshy fruits. Here simple fruits again classified into fleshy fruits and dry fruits. Here fleshy fruits generally they store the food materials in the fruit wall or pericarp. So, pericarp is storing the food materials. So, that's why they are fleshy. Here fleshy fruits are, they are of different types: drupe, berry, pome, pepo, hesperidium. So, drupe generally it is developing from the monocarpellary ovary and single seeded, only one seed is present. Examples for drupe: mango and coconut. So, you know mango, in the mango, the fruit wall is differentiated into three layers: outer skin epicarp, and middle fleshy mesocarp, and inner stony endocarp. In the mango, here outer epicarp, middle mesocarp, and inner stony endocarp. So, here this middle mesocarp is edible. So, what we are eating in the mango, here the middle mesocarp is edible, it is storing the food materials. So, in the drupe mainly the endocarp is stony, stone like hard endocarp is present. And in the coconut also same single seeded. So, it is a coconut fruit. The coconut fruit is also called here drupe. It is also one example for drupe. Here the endocarp is stony. Here also endocarp is stony. Hard stone like endocarp is present. Here middle, here epicarp is skin or skin like, or it is very leathery, smooth. And middle mesocarp is, it is fibrous. Fibrous, or it is coir. Coir is obtained from the middle mesocarp. So, it is commercially important. And inner endocarp it is stony. So, inside the endocarp white material is present. That white material is called as endosperm. So, endosperm is the edible part in the coconut. So mango and coconut both are the examples for drupe. In the mango, the edible part is mesocarp, middle mesocarp, and in the coconut, the edible part is endosperm. Here in mango, edible part is mesocarp edible, and in coconut, here the endosperm is edible. So it is about a drupe. Next, berry. In berry, epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp. So all these are differentiated, but epicarp it is very smooth, very skin-like structure, and very thin. And middle mesocarp, endocarp both are fused to form pulp, and the seeds are scattered. Hard seeds are present. Number of seeds are also present. But sometimes here, betel nut. Here, tomato is also one example. Betel nut. Betel nut, it is one-seeded berry. So tomato is having multi-seeded. But betel nut is single-seeded. Only one seed is present. It is also berry, single-seeded. And brinjal. So many fruits are here berry type of fruits. Next, pome. So pome is observed in the Pyrus malus or apple. In apple, the fruit is here pome type. So outer part, what is edible fleshy part is that is false fruit. In apple, already we discussed. Here, outer part it is fleshy. The fleshy portion is false fruit, but inner part is here it is also developing into, the inner part develops from the ovary. Ovary develops into fruit. It is true fruit. So true fruit is present. It is covered by false fruit. Completely it is false fruit developing from the thalamus. So true fruit is covered by false fruit. So this type of fruit is completely the fruit in the apple. The fruit is called as pome. So apple scientific name is Pyrus malus. Next type of fleshy fruit is pepo. The fleshy fruit. Yeah, pepo is also one berry-like fruit. Here epi, meso, endocarps are differentiated, but epicarp it is very hard. So hard epicarp is present. Epicarp is hard, and this type of pepo fruit is observed in the Cucurbitaceae family members. It is a characteristic fruit of Cucurbitaceae family members. In cucumbers, it is a characteristic fruit, pepo. So on the pepo, epicarp is fused with the thalamus. Thalamus like in apple, but in apple the thalamus is it is covering the ovary, and it is fleshy, storing the food material. But in pepo, here the epicarp is epicarp is fused with the thalamus. Epicarp. So the epicarp is fused with the thalamus. Thin thalamus is present. The thalamus is fused with the epicarp and forming a hard structure that is called as rind. Both are fused to form rind. Thalamus and epicarp both are fused to form rind. Rind is a hard structure. So after peeling off only, generally we will eat the pepo fruits. Next, Hesperidium. The Hesperidium fruit is it is a characteristic fruit of citrus family or Rutaceae family. So in orange or citrus, it is a characteristic fruit. So in Rutaceae family or in citrus fruits, citrus plants. So this type of fruit is observed, Hesperidium. If you observe a citrus fruit, outer epicarp. Epicarp it is leathery and volatile oils are present, smooth and oily. And inner middle mesocarp. Mesocarp is white and cotton-like substance. Next, inner endocarp it is very thin and it is differentiated into, or it is the total fruit is it is divided into number of chambers. So these are the walls. Here epicarp, mesocarp, and it is the endocarp. Epicarp it is leathery or it is smooth and oily, and middle mesocarp. Here mesocarp is present. The mesocarp is it is white, cotton-like substance, and inner endocarp it is forming the walls. And here number of juicy hairs are present. Here juicy hairs. Here the seeds are arranged. So the juicy hairs are they are storing the juicy hairs are storing some juices. Okay, here it is about Hesperidium fruit. Hesperidium fruit is a characteristic fruit of Rutaceae family or citrus family. So all these are fleshy fruits. Drupe, only single seeded and a single seeded fruit. And in the drupe mainly the characteristic feature is endocarp is stony, stone like endocarp. And berry, in the berry the total fruit is edible. Generally the total fruit is edible. Sometimes except seed, the total fruit is edible. Here berry fruits are here multi-seeded. The seeds are very hard, like in tomato, brinjal, and betel nut. Next, pome, apple. Pome is observed in the apple. Pepo is the characteristic fruit of Cucurbitaceae family members or cucumbers. Hesperidium, it is the characteristic fruit of Rutaceae family members, like in citrus fruits. So in the citrus fruits, the juice is stored in the juicy hairs. So inside the endocarp, some small juicy number of juicy hairs are present. So it is about fleshy fruits. Next, let us discuss about dry fruits. Now we are going to discuss about dry fruits. Dehiscent and indehiscent. Dry fruits are the fruit wall or pericarp is not storing the food materials. That's why it is dry. And generally it is not differentiated into epi, meso, endocarp. And here these are of two types, mainly two types, dehiscent fruits and indehiscent fruits. So what is dehiscent and indehiscent? So dehiscent means at maturity, in mature condition the fruit wall or the fruit splits or breaks. So it splits into two parts or number of parts. So in mature condition the fruit wall dehisces into a number of parts and releasing the and liberating the seeds. To liberate the seeds outside, the fruit is dehiscing or breaking or it is splitting. That they are called as dehiscent fruits. Here the dehiscent fruits are of three types, mainly three types: legume, capsule, and siliqua. Legume fruit, also called as pod. The legume is observed in the Leguminaceae family members. Leguminosae family members or Fabaceae family members. Here legume fruit is it is at maturity it is dehiscing into two parts. Here like in so it is dehiscing into two parts and having the seed. The seeds are liberated outside. Here legume fruit is observed in the Fabaceae members or pea plant. So it is also called as pod. It is breaking into two parts. And capsule. In the capsule the fruit also dehisces here in the place of walls. Here the fruit is, for example, fruit is developed from tricarpellary ovary. Here the walls are present. Sometimes it is dehiscing in this part, in between the locules, or sometimes here it is dehiscing in the septa region. Here it is dehiscing in the septa region, or sometimes here in between the locules. So the breaking or splitting or dehiscence methods are different in capsule. So sometimes in between the here two carpels are here in the region of septa or wall, that is dehiscing, or sometimes in the here between the locule, middle portion of the locule. So here based on the dehiscence they are called as septicidal, septifragal, loculicidal fruits. So capsule generally it is observed in the datura plant. It is producing capsule type of fruit. So in the capsule fruits are of different types. Septicidal, if it is dehiscing in the septa region, and loculicidal, so in the between the locule it is dehiscing, and septifragal also. So different types of capsules are there. Generally capsule is observed in the datura plant. And siliqua, here siliqua it is observed, or it is the characteristic fruit of Brassicaceae family members. Brassicaceae. Siliqua are sometimes also called as silicula. Siliqua is having number of seeds and silicula only a few seeds. Here it is the characteristic fruit of Brassicaceae family members or mustard plant. So these are the three types of dehiscent fruits. Dehiscent means at maturity the fruit dehisces or breaks or splits to liberate the seeds outside. Yeah, legume it dehiscing into two parts, or in pea plant or Fabaceae members or pulses giving plants. The fruits are dehiscing into two parts, or beans fruit. Next capsule is observed in the datura. Here siliqua is observed in mustard plant, mustard fruit. Next about indehiscent fruits. Indehiscent fruits they do not dehisce at maturity also. At maturity also they do not dehisce. How the seeds are liberated outside? The fruit is not dehiscing, but the seeds are to be liberated outside. How they are liberated? Here after the disintegration of the fruit wall is present. Inside the fruit wall the seed is present. So after the disintegration of the fruit wall, the seed comes out. Here the indehiscent fruits are of here different types: Carryopsis, Achenes, nut, Cypsela. A Carryopsis. What is the characteristic feature of Carryopsis? So we know rice grains, maize and wheat, all these are the monocot family members or graminae family members. So it is generally observed in the monocot plant fruits, graminae members, graminae family members or Poaceae family members. So in Carryopsis, the fruit wall is very thin and our pericarp is very thin, and the seed coat is it is a rice grain or wheat. So the fruit wall, it is fruit wall or pericarp and seed coat. Seed coat, both are fused. So we cannot separate them. Here pericarp or fruit wall and seed coat both are fused. So fused pericarp and seed coat. So this type of Carryopsis fruit is observed in the graminae family members are oryza, wheat, maize, oats, all these plants. Next Achenes. So in Achenes the fruit wall and seed coat both are not fused completely. So incompletely fused. In Achenes the fruit wall and seed coat fused incompletely. And here nut is observed in the here cashew plant, cashew nut. Here completely the fruit wall and seed coat both are free, not fused. It is fruit wall very hard, stony, and it is seed. So both are free. Here both are fused. These both are fused. And here pericarp and the seed coat, here they are free. Free means they are not fused. So it is observed in the cashew plant or cashew nut. And Cypsela. Cypsela is characterized by pappus. Pappus is present. What is pappus? So already we discussed in the calyx part. In the calyx, here pappus is also calyx, but persistent calyx. Persistent means permanent calyx. Here the fruit is having hair-like structures or calyx. Calyx is attached to the fruit. After fertilization and after the formation of fruit also, the sepals or the calyx is attached to the fruit. So in Asteraceae family members or sunflower family, this type of fruit is observed in the Asteraceae family members. So pappus, it is the pappus. In Asteraceae family members like sunflower, tridox, chrysanthemum, marigold, so the fruit is Cypsela type of fruit. Very small fruit, single seeded fruit, and characterized by pappus. So pappus is the permanent or persistent calyx. So it helps in the dispersal of seed or fruit. So fruit is having only one seed. So pappus helps in the dispersal of fruit or seed. So all these are indehiscent fruits, all the four types: Carryopsis, achenes, nut, Cypsela. All these are single seeded fruits. So it is about here dry fruits, dehiscent and indehiscent fruits. Dehiscent fruits are of three types. Indehiscent fruits are four types. All indehiscent fruits are only single seeded fruits. So it is about dry fruits. Let us discuss about what are aggregate fruits and composite fruits. Aggregate fruits. Already we discussed aggregate fruits develop from apocarpus ovary of a single flower. So this type of fruits are observed in Annona squamosa. Annona or custard apple. In custard apple, the fruit, the custard apple fruit is having externally this type of structures are present. Each and every fruitlet, small fruitlet, so the difference here, if you observe the difference between the fleshy fruit or simple fruit and aggregate fruit. In simple fruit, like in tomato, single seeded parts we cannot separate. The total fruit, it is edible. Here in the tomato plant, the single seeded fruits we cannot separate outside. But here in custard apple, single seeded parts we can take out. So these single seeded parts are each and every part. It is nothing but it is one carpel. So it is also one carpel. So it is developing from one carpel. So number of carpels. Here on the thalamus, number of carpels are there, but all they are not fused, all they are free. So each is having one ovule. So that ovule develops into seed. Here it develops into fruit. It also develops into fruit. So but all they are not fused, not combined. Here they are free. But they are generally, here the total all fruitlets are present together. So it is forming one fruit. That fruit is called as aggregate fruit. In the aggregate fruit, here single seeded small fruits are called as fruitlets. Here fruitlets. Here the fruitlets are having only single seed. But in the aggregate fruit, a number of carpels are there. All these number of carpels are not fused. All these are developing into a small fruitlets. It is developing into fruit. All these are developing into small fruitlets, aggregated, are present together. So that is called as aggregate fruit, observed in the Annona plant or custard apple. So Annona squamosa or custard apple. Here the difference you can understand easily between the simple fruit and aggregate fruit. Both are developing from the single flower, ovary of a single flower. But simple fruits develop from syncarpus ovary. Aggregate fruits develop from apocarpus ovary. In simple fruit, single seeded parts we cannot separate. But in aggregate fruits, here the single seeded parts we can separate. So the single seeded parts are called as fruitlets. So it is example for the aggregate fruit. Next one is composite fruits. A composite fruits develop from the total inflorescence. So here two types of composite fruits are there. Composite fruits are also called as multiple fruits or compound fruits of two types. Here Sorosis and Syconus. Here Sorosis type of fruit here develops from spike, spadix, catkin inflorescences. So inflorescences are of different types. Here spike, spadix, catkin, the total inflorescence it is after fertilization that develops into here this type of Sorosis fruit. So it is these are the developing from spike, spadix, catkin. So these develop from a spike, spadix, catkin. Examples for Sorosis. The first one example is pineapple. Pineapple scientific name is Ananas sativus. And second example is jackfruit. Artocarpus. Scientific name is Artocarpus. So it is the first type of composite fruit. So total two types are there, Sorosis, and the second type is Syconus. Syconus fruit develops from Hypanthodium inflorescence. Hypanthodium inflorescence is observed in the ficus. So it is develops from Hypanthodium. Hypanthodium inflorescence, and example for Syconus is ficus. So these are the composite fruits or multiple fruits develop from the total inflorescence. There are two types, Sorosis and Syconus. Sorosis develop from spike, spadix, catkin inflorescence. Examples pineapple and jackfruit. And Syconus develops from Hypanthodium inflorescence. Example for this ficus plant. Ficus plant is producing Syconus type of fruit. So it is about fruits and types of fruits. So total it is a classification of true fruits. True fruits mainly of three types: simple, aggregate, and composite fruits. Fleshy fruits, dry fruits based on the nature of pericarp. Pericarp is fruit wall is fleshy, here dry. Fleshy fruits are again of 5 types. Dry fruits again classified into 2 types, dehiscent and indehiscent, based on the breaking or splitting. At maturity, if the fruit dehisces, that is dehiscent, or if it is not showing the dehiscence, it is indehiscent. Again, these are 3 types. There are 4 types. Aggregate fruits. Aggregate fruits are here. Example for aggregate fruit is annona. Next, composite fruits. Composite fruits also called as multiple fruits. Sorosis, Syconus. Here these are 2 types, Sorosis and Syconus. Here examples for Sorosis, Ananas sativus, and Syconus, ficus. So it is the classification of fruits and the total explanation and examples about the fruit.